Hello everyone, Miguel here from Unique Web Designer, and in this video we are going to talk about the dark secrets of web design companies. Yes, I run a web design company. I know a lot of the little dirty little secrets that we have and that companies in my industry have, and I'm going to share some of those with you. Now, I'm not going to mention upselling because it's just an obvious one. A lot of web design companies, they'll upsell you on a bunch of things that you don't need, such as like, hey, you need this piece of software, you need that, you need this, but a bunch of stuff that you just don't need. So I'm not even going to go into that because that could be a 50-minute video on its own. But I'm going to go into little known secrets that we have, and some of them we're guilty of, some of them we're not, but these are the dirty little secrets that a lot of web design companies don't tell you about. And number one is pay us to host your website. I do not host anybody's website, and the reason for that is because, hey, if we go under, then what's going to happen to you? Simple as that. The other day I actually worked with a tattoo shop that's local, and their problem was that they were paying their previous web design company to maintain their website and to host it. And so once that company got, their lump sum payment, then every time this tattoo shop, every time they needed to update something, they had to wait 2-3 months just to get a response from this company. Why? Because they didn't care. They were in control of everything. When your web design company is hosting your website, they own your website. They have your website. When we tried to get the login for the website, they told us that they couldn't give it to us because it was on the same server as a bunch of other websites. So just think about that. And that's not the worst. It's like if that company goes under, then that's it. Your website doesn't exist. So do not pay your web development company to host your website. And another thing is, they're not the ones hosting your website. They are reselling you that service. Web design companies do not have their own servers to host websites. They pay a hosting company such as Bluehost, Liquid Web, and SiteGround a fee to have a server or to have a lot of space so that they can host a bunch of websites. And they're basically paying like let's say right now we pay $80 for a server. On that server, I can have at any time like 400 websites if I wanted to. I only use it as a place where I can basically do all of the websites for my clients, and then I would transfer them. So it's used like a staging area, and then once they're finished and they're approved, I transfer them to that person's account. But if I wanted to, I could just tell everybody that I deal with, I could say, hey, I can host your website for $50 a month. $50 times 400, think about it, it's a lot of money. But guess what? If I go under, all those accounts go under as well, because they're not the ones directly in contact with the hosting company. A lot of times you may not even know who the hosting company is because you think the people hosting the website is your web design company. So secret number one, boom. Number two, you need website maintenance. Listen, if your website is built in WordPress, like most websites nowadays are, or even Webflow, Wix, or any of these popular platforms, you do not need maintenance. Maintenance is something that you need if something goes wrong. You do not need to pay somebody to be doing your, like, updating your plugins or whatnot. Those things can be set to update themselves. So you do not need to be paying some maintenance fee to a web design company to literally do nothing. A lot of them already set everything to update automatically, yet they tell you, yes, we're going in the back end, we're checking that everything is fine, yada yada. That's BS. They're not doing anything. Yes, they may log in and show you that they logged in, and they may send you like a report that your website was up for 99.9% of the time, yada yada. So, but they're not doing anything. When it comes to website maintenance, it's something that you could use whenever something goes wrong. Yes, whenever something goes wrong, pay somebody to fix it. But for the most part, like I can tell you, I've had hundreds, if not thousands, of clients, and I'm only doing maintenance for 7 clients. And I do not sell maintenance packages to anybody. I do them if it's a company that's telling me, hey, we want you to upload our content. So, kind of like we want you to upload the articles, or we do events on a monthly basis and we want to show images and so on. And we don't have the time or the bandwidth to do it ourselves. Yes, for those people, I will do it. And for companies like that, yes, pay somebody to do it if you have better things to do. But 99% of businesses do not need maintenance. Everything is done automatically. If something goes wrong, yes, contact a professional, get the help that you need. But you do not need to be paying $300, $500, $1,000 a month for a web design company to literally do nothing. Secret number 2. So we do everything in house. Okay. And I would tell you, we actually do everything in house. So we're not guilty of any of the top 3. I will tell you which we are actually guilty of. So we do everything in house. Yes, we do. Now, I do a lot of business for other web design agencies that say that they do everything in house. Yet they're sending their workload, their overload, their overflow, whatever you want to call it, to us. Basically, they get a website and they send it over to us for us to do it. They're still the face. We only work on the background. And but the person on the other end, the one actually paying them for us to do the website, they don't know that. They're telling them we're the ones doing it. So is that right? Is it wrong? I think it's wrong. If I was to hand something off to another company, I would definitely want my client to know. And this happens more than you think. There's a lot of big companies in this industry that hand off their work. Some hand them off offshore, some hand them off to smaller companies such as mine, and so on. But it's very prevalent in our industry, and there's no way of knowing. I mean, unfortunately, there isn't any way that you can prevent it unless you do extensive research on the company, and even then you may not be able to find out, because I literally have to sign NDA agreements in order to basically white label our work so that they can use it as their own. So, and I do it because a lot of times they're basically just bringing me the business. They're telling me, hey, I have this website that I need to build. Can you do it? Yes or no? If I see that it's a good project for us, I say yes. If not, I say no. Now, I don't know if they're telling their customers that they're handing it off to someone else, or if they're always telling them, hey, we're doing it in house. I do know that a couple of them say that they do everything in house because they have it on their website. Now, I don't know if they tell them once they're in front of that client, hey, we're gonna hand this off to one of our partners or whatnot. But that's them. You know, if they want to lie to their clients, that's up to them. I have nothing to do with that, but it's something that I wouldn't do in my own company. I always tell people, hey, we are doing it in-house and we do it in-house. Now, there has been times where, something gets out of hand, like a database, and we need some help. Yes, I will hire somebody that comes in and helps us for a few hours or whatnot. But obviously, that's not a big deal. That's just us trying to get the client to the end goal. It's not that we are hiring or handing off the entire work, the entirety of the website to someone else. And that is number 3. Now, so number 4, we don't use templates. This one is probably the biggest one. And this one, I am actually guilty of doing. And I used to do it a lot. When I started out, I thought that I needed to lie to people and tell them that, you know, I was doing their websites from the ground up by myself. And I just thought that that's what I needed to do in order to get business. Now, what I found is that most people, when you explain to them the difference between template and custom code, they usually go for template. Now, we use page builders now. So a lot of the times, most of the websites are actually not using templates. We use a page builder that makes it easier for us to create whatever you want, because a lot of people, they'll like something about one website, something else about another website. And what do? We combine the things that they like about every website, and anything that they like, we combine them into one template. So we actually create the template for them, and then they can go in and easily modify the information as they see fit. But starting out, I was definitely guilty of this. I was using templates and just modifying them, because nowadays you can make so many modifications to templates that a lot of times you can just buy a template that's similar to what the person wants, and you modify the things that they don't want through something called CSS, and it's basically coding. But there are some templates that you can't modify too much, so that's where you run into problems. But ask your company straight up. If you're going to hire a web design company, just ask them, hey, are you using a template, or are you using or are you custom coding, or are you using a website builder? And in our case, this is something that I now tell all my clients. And if they tell me they're okay with the template, or they already have a template, I'll definitely use a template. If they tell me that they prefer a custom website, I build them a custom website using those website builders. And so just keep that in mind and ask. Just ask. It's no big deal. Like, I mean, I didn't feel bad at the time, but now I would feel bad if I was to continue doing this, because I want everybody to know exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it. So now I tell all my clients, hey, we can do your website using these features. So we can either do a template, we can do a custom, we can use a website builder. What do you prefer? Obviously, if it's a template, it's going to be a little bit cheaper. If it's the website builder, it's going to be cheaper than 100% custom coded. So, but now I'm giving it all up front. I'm not trying to basically kind of like, how is it that people say, make it or fake it till you make it? I'm not doing that anymore. And to be honest, I don't feel ashamed of doing it at the beginning, because it was just my way of getting to where I am now. So I'm not ashamed of it. Would I change it? Probably I would. Like, if I could go back and just change that specific aspect of getting here, I would probably like not lie to people or just tell them, hey, we're using templates or whatnot. But I do not feel ashamed of it, because it was just the best way that I knew at that point of how to get, how to continue growth and get to the point that we are right now. So this is the one that we are actually guilty of, that I am guilty of, because my company was not what it is right now. So it was just me and one developer. And it was just easier for us to obviously use templates than to be trying to customize everything on a website. So guilty as charged. Number 5, it doesn't take 3 weeks to make a small website update. Okay, so this is something that I see a lot. So we get a lot of people that have contacted 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 companies just because they're price gauging, they're trying to get more information and so on. And a lot of times they'll tell me, hey, I need to update my homepage, I need to update a couple of sections, and I'm thinking that it can be done in 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm thinking, like, what? Like, what do you need done? Do you need like custom animations everywhere, or what is it? What's gonna take 2 to 3 weeks? And when they start telling me, oh hey, oh no, well, I contacted so and so and so and so, and they told me it would take about 2 to 3 weeks, and they gave me a price, blah blah blah. And I never talk bad about any other company, like regardless of what company it is, even if I know that they're kind of bad. I do not talk bad about any company. Why? Because I don't know if that customer is misinterpreting it, is misinterpreting what they were told, and even if they weren't, and even if I do know that the company is not the best of the bunch, I just don't. Why? Because that's how that person is feeding their family. Now, if I can prevent you from working with one of these companies, yes, I will give you my recommendations. But at the end of the day, I let people make their own decisions. So I never talk bad about any company, regardless of who they are. And if somebody asks for my opinion on a specific company, I just tell them, hey, contact them, talk to them, and see if you like them. I do not talk bad about a competition or anything like that because it's just not my thing. Now, I will spill the beans on all of this stuff, but I'm not saying that so and so does it, so and so does it, or anything like that. And so here's the thing: most updates, if they're simple updates, they will take maybe a few hours to do. Now, obviously, if our plate is full, I may tell you, oh, I can start working on it next week. And you may say, oh, well, if it's only going to take you 2 to 3 hours, why do you need to? I mean, why can't you just spend 2 to 3 hours right now and do it? Well, obviously, we have other clients that we were already working with, and they may be a priority. And so I'm going to tell you, okay, I'll work on your project next week, say Monday, and by Monday afternoon, I would tell you that it's done. Now, if we run into a few problems or whatnot, something unexpected, okay, maybe Tuesday, but I'll keep you updated on the progress. What most companies do, they'll say, oh, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to do that update. No, it does not take 2 to 3 weeks. A lot of times they do it because they want to charge a lot. Sometimes they do it just to kind of like, I don't know, impress the client or whatnot. But I prefer just being honest. Hey, if I cannot do the work right now, I'll tell you, hey, I can start on your project on this day, or between this day and this day. Because a lot of times, yes, like I'll be working on a project and I'll send it into a client, and they may not get back to me right away. So they may take a day or two. And if I was expecting to work on this project, say next day, then I have nothing to do the next day. So I pick up something else. And then at that point, I may actually, the guy that I told, hey, I'll get to your thing in a week, maybe I'll work on that thing right then. Why? Because it's something that's going to take me 1 to 2 hours to do. And my developers do the same thing. Like when I give them all the work for the week, they know how to prioritize. And if they're waiting on somebody, then they're going to start working on other things. And so, but small updates do not take 2 to 3 weeks. That's BS. Now, number 6, if it doesn't help you grow your business, you're wasting money. Keep this one in mind. And this one, I know I mentioned not talking about upselling and so on, but a lot of times web design companies will try to sell you a bunch of stuff. And here's the thing: if whatever they're trying to sell you does not help you grow your business, does not get more clients coming to your office, or does not get more people calling your phone, chatting with you, emailing you, don't waste your time. Just don't waste your time. If you have a website, if they're creating a website and they're trying to sell you something that doesn't actually get more clients for you, don't do it. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. And unfortunately, this business is full of web design companies that try to sell you because it's popular to upsell people. And it's not just when it comes to web design. If you have a pool, the pool maintenance guy will try to sell you a bunch of stuff that you don't need. If you are doing your roof, the roofer is going to try to sell you things that you don't need. So it's prevalent in every industry, but you got to do your due diligence. If you know that you don't need, like, let's say if you don't need some kind of avatar, like, some web design companies, they'll like try to sell you an avatar to put on your on the it basically shows up on the browser. Yes, it's nice. If you want the avatar there, boom, it's fine. It's something that we actually do automatically for everybody. We just have the logo as the avatar, but a lot of companies charge for that, and that's not really going to get you any money. Anything that doesn't get you more clients is a waste of money. So boom, don't fall for the upsells. Now, the last, and I could keep talking about all these dirty little secrets for a long time, but I'm just gonna stop at 7. You probably don't need a custom coded website. Okay, this is a huge one. Okay, a lot of companies, a lot of web design companies, they'll tell you that they're going to custom code your website. Now, custom coding takes a lot of time and a lot of power, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of basically time, professionalism, effort to do. Most websites out there, I would say today, 99.5% of websites are not custom coded. They're either WordPress, Wix, Webflow, Square, whatever you want to think. That's what they are. Most websites are not custom coded, and most businesses, when it comes to small businesses, service-based businesses, even corporations, do not need or want or should have a custom coded website. Now, if you have a back-end system that needs to be custom coded, yes, that's fine. But most business websites do not need to be custom coded. If a company is trying to sell you a custom coded website, just run away. Just run away. Unless you're, like I said, if you're running like a logistics company or something, or you're being the next Uber and you need an application created for you that does XYZ, yes, you'll need custom code. But most, or pretty much 99.9% of service-based businesses, they can do with WordPress, they can do with Shopify, they can do with Webflow. So custom coded websites, run as far as you can. Anyways, that's about it for this list of dirty little secrets. I may do another list just to keep talking about these, because a lot of these topics do intrigue me. So I may have another video coming up of additional secrets of our industry, just to educate you guys, and so that you guys can be aware of the things that happen kind of like in the background that you might not be aware of. And I'll also, maybe in the next video, I'll go into more details as to how you can prevent these things and how you can catch them. So hopefully this video was useful to you, and if it was, share with anybody that you think could find useful, that could find it useful as well. And like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel so that whenever I make another video, you'll find out about it. And as you know, I end all of my videos, every single one of them, saying these beautiful words: unique is out.